We'll let sleeping dogs lie. We'll probably wake them up in a minute because that's a lot of guitar cases. A lot of guitar cases with some classic style bodies that would fit in those cases. Built by none other than the best in the business, Mr. Bill Crook. And as you can see, I've got all these pretty maids in a row today. Been wanting to do this for a while because a lot of people realize single coils aren't just single coils, and you can do a lot of things with guitar body styles that maybe you never thought about doing. Today we're going to have the Crook Custom Guitars shootout from my collection on the guitar log. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the guitar log. It is great to see you. It's been a while since we've had a video out, so today's video is something I've wanted to do for a really long time. And this morning, I was on the phone with a friend of mine, Mr. Bill Crook. Bill had been working in his shop, and I got to catch up with him for the first time in a little while. And in the midst of all that, I thought, you know what? I've been wanting to do this forever. I've got some time today. Let's get the guitars out. Let's do something here. So today we're going to be doing a shootout, so to speak. It won't really be a shootout saying, oh, this one's better or that one's better. What it's going to be is a chance for me to show you these Crook Custom guitars that I have. And this isn't just a, hey, let me just show you what I've got. It's I want you to see that even though you might have two guitars that look substantially similar in terms of shape and pickup configuration and whatnot, these two guitars sound completely different, okay? They do. They've got their own characters. There's features on them. The necks are a little bit different. You got a bender on one and not on the other. Paisley finish versus a metallic red. But I want to go through and talk about those things, not because I think, hey, you're dumb if you don't like this one over that one, but because I think a lot of times people don't realize what they're getting into when they order a custom guitar. And they also sometimes don't understand what they're getting into when they just pick up a guitar off the rack. Because we have these preconceived notions of what a guitar sounds like based on who we've heard play them, right? My first exposure to Bill Crook and his guitars was through Brad Paisley, like many of you. Brad grew up very close to Bill and knew him growing up. He did work for him. And Bill eventually started building some custom guitars. Brad was playing them on stage. Talked about him in an article in Vintage Guitar Magazine from many, many years ago. And I met Brad backstage at a show, and I said, hey, you know, this was right around the time the Mud on the Tires album was out. And I said, how do you like those Crook guitars compared to that 68 Paisley you play? He's like, oh, I interchange them all the time in the show. They're fantastic. They're awesome. Hold on, let me get my guitar tech. And he got Zach Childs, who was his guitar tech at the time. Ask Zach. If you go to that web page or that YouTube page, watch his videos. They are very informative, great videos. And Zach showed me around the guitars, and they had just gotten what they called the Bucko caster, and that is what this guitar is modeled off of. The first two went to Brad and Buck Owens. The third one is in my hands right now. So I called Bill after that show and just said, hey, you know, here's what I would be looking for. And I wanted something very similar to that, so I didn't change a whole lot. But all that said, the whole point of it was I've been listening to a lot of country records and loving that sound and that tone. So I wanted to go for that. And what came out of that is I realized this guy, Bill Crook, he was a sound man for years and you know, was fantastic at that. Started building guitars and wanted them to sound good in the front of house. So a big deal with that is what do you do to make these guitars sound good, play good, so that people will want to play them and set them up to where they're a guitar that someone won't just play and say, here today, gone tomorrow. These are fantastic instruments, and you might be saying, okay, what's the difference between a custom guitar and a parts guitar? Well, I'll tell you what the difference is. The fretwork, it's how everything pieces together. It's the type of bolts that you use to put the neck into the body. It's the finish work. It's all the fine details. You know, there's a lot of guys building guitars in their garage or basement who just don't know what they're doing, just to be really blunt about it. You know, that's okay. I mean, you can make your own guitars and have fun with it, but when you get to somebody at this level of skill and craftsmanship, you get a totally different instrument, and it's something that you really have a hard time putting down. So this one was the first guitar he built me, like I said. It's got a set of single coil pickups in it. The first one is an Adder APC neck pickup that was something he was using at the time. You can't really find those anymore, but they're a great neck pickup. And the bridge is a Lindy Fralin Blue Special, and I wanted that because that's what Brad Paisley had in his 68 Telly. The nice thing about this one is it's four-way switching. You've got the bridge pickup, you've got your typical neck and bridge together, you've got the neck pickup, and then you've got them in series, so it gives a beefier sound. It's great for slide playing. But I'm going to just let you hear this guitar. There's a video on it, but I want you to hear that. Then we're going to move to a different single coil guitar and let you hear it. Works better if I turn this on. Playing through a Dr. Z Trainwreck, or not Trainwreck, but Z-Wreck Jr. I really like the neck on this one. So this is middle and bridge together. And here they are in series. It's got a lot more meat to it. It's definitely a hotter sound, and it's got a little bit of a low end growl to it that I really like. That's the same thing if I play it just with them not in series, but in parallel. So there you go. That is the Buckocaster. This was built in 2004, beginning in 2003, and got finished in 2004. But let's see what it sounds like when we play another one that has the same configuration, but different pickups in it, okay? As I knock a guitar stand down, bear with me. This next guitar I bought from Bill at the guitar show in Franklin, Tennessee. And this guitar is one that I really, really enjoy. He had one the year before that I really liked, but it had a maple neck as opposed to the rosewood. And you can see that last one had a maple. So that's one of those big things that you can change on a Telecaster style guitar. Do you want the snap of that maple, which I think it is snappier, and the rosewood gives you more mid-range and a little bit more girth to your tone? At least that's the way I would word it. A lot of people may disagree with that, but that's the way I would word it. This one's a red metal flake that just looks gorgeous. There's a great video of Roger Horde playing this guitar from before I bought it, and Roger's a phenomenal player, by the way. You should check him out on some of Bill's YouTube videos. But this guitar has the same four-way wiring. 2, 3, 4. There you go. And it's got a set of pickups in it. These are Peter Florence Voodoo pickups. And Peter Florence, rest in peace, he made some fantastic pickups. And this is a great guitar with that. So you heard that last one. This one to me is not quite as bright, but it's got such a great tone. It's a great, I would call it a 60s style Tilly with the binding and everything. But I'll let you hear this one. This is the bridge pickup. The middle. And one of the things that you can't capture in a video very well is the response. These pickups respond differently than that Lindy Fralin does and the APC. But the beautiful thing is it's just a clear sounding guitar, and this has got a little bit of hair on the amp right now. That's the neck. in series. So you get a little bit of a feel for the difference when you use the series or parallel. So those are all things, and not all tellies will have that four-way switching. I really like that. Another thing about this guitar that's different, and I think that it's kind of unique, it's not as twangy, I would say, if you will, as the first guitar. But this one does have, if you look at the three saddle pieces here, a very similar setup, except for this one has a bender on it. And I'm going to give you an example of what the bender does in a few moments with a different guitar. But it basically takes your G string up to an A note when you bend it. And of course you can use that all over the neck. But this one with the brass saddles definitely gets some brightness added to that mix. The neck just feels great. And one of the big things I think that really stands out about Bill's work is the necks and the fretwork. Bill's fretwork is fantastic. And every guitar I've ever gotten from him just played like $1,000,000. Now, going the opposite direction, let's go from a newer Crook to an actual older Crook. This is a guitar I've got a demo up of, and this one is a beautiful relic guitar, which Bill doesn't do really all the time, but it's got a huge neck on it, a big neck, a man's neck, if you will, whereas those have much smaller necks, because that's what I was used to playing. I've really grown accustomed to and like the way this one plays, though. And let's let you hear what this one sounds like. This one's kind of a Blackguard style thing, but it's got a rosewood board, and I really like that too. But let's hear this telly. These are aggressive pickups, and again, they're Florence Voodoos. They're a little more aggressive. They sound great though. Playing. This is the middle position, and this one's just a three-way switch, but here's the middle. And then the neck. So again, just a different tone with each one of those sets of pickups. This one again, all brass on the saddle pieces, and the neck size is different. It's got some relicking, so maybe a thinner finish if you want to say that, but Bill's guitars all have nice finishes on them. But those are three tellies that are the traditional Telecaster setup. This one is not. This was the second guitar that I had Bill build for me, and this is, for years, this has been my go-to. This is my desert island guitar because it does everything, okay? It's got a drop D tuner on it, because I was playing songs with my band One Day Less, had a lot of drop D tuning at the time. If you listen to the intro video, or the intro little snippet of music on this video, it's a combination of this guitar and the silver one over here that you would be hearing. And this guitar, to me, it was something that was uniquely me. I'm a Les Paul guy at heart, right? That's one thing I've always loved. And this one's got the same neck as the Buckocaster, but it's got the drop D switch, and it's also got a set of Paul Reed Smith Dragon 2 pickups in it. That was the first time Bill had done those in a guitar. I also wanted a bender on it, so I can get my country pedal steel type bends on it. But it's got 5-way switching. So you've got bridge pickup, you've got one from each, the other from each. You've got both pickups together, and you've got the neck pickup, depending on where you set that. So let's let you hear what this one sounds like, and there's a video of this one up too. And this is my go-to guitar, and it's going to sound a lot heavier. Nothing changed except the guitar on any of this. You go to this next position up, and you're getting more of a Strat sound. That out of phase thing. Then you get to the middle. This one, again, it's kind of like another Strat type of sound. And then the neck's just a nice, beefy, thick sounding neck. And so this one, you've gone to humbuckers. Now, the bridge on this one is more, a traditional Strat almost style, with the one being the bender mechanism on the G string there. And you can see a beautiful, I think it's orangey, but it's a Fiesta Red is the actual color of the paisley print. So Bill, he kind of colored the pick guard to match up there. You've got master tone, master volume, just like on the other two guitars, or three guitars I've shown you so far. But then this drop D tuner is a great touch, because I was playing a lot of hard rock stuff at the time. So a lot of versatility with this guitar. I've used this on studio sessions over the years and had tons of great luck with it. One of the best guitars I've ever played, and it's, like I say, the desert island guitar, if you will. But after I got this one built, I had a Jonesman for a Strat, and Bill did not let me down. The only Stratocaster, well, one of only two Stratocasters I currently own. One is an old Mexican black Fender Strat that I had when I was in high school, and I guess I'm just, I won't let go of it because it's not worth much, and I just have fond memories of it. But this was the Strat that I want to build. I mean, it's a super Strat, right? Two humbuckers. Again, Paul Reed Smith Dragon 2s, as well as a Voodoo 60s in the middle. So you've heard that Voodoo, some of those Voodoo pickups in other places. Well, this one's just going to be used in the middle as to tie into a coil from your humbuckers. This one is the vintage paisley type of finish and color. I wanted a little more gold in mine. You can see some nice raspberry on the sides, like the old vintage guitars. And I like the idea of a matching headstock on it. It's also got the D tuner that you saw, and a tremolo that, quite honestly, I love the fact that this thing doesn't go out of tune. I don't do Eddie Van Halen dive bombs on it, but at the same time, I do get some nice little warbles, Goes right back to tune. And these are beefy humbuckers. They sound great. Strats have a certain percussiveness about them when you pick at them that I like. This is kind of that out of phase sound. So I like that one. The middle, and then I love the tone on that middle and neck. again, this one was very much customized to what I wanted. And then we go to the neck pickup, and that classic Strat neck pickup thing still comes through even when you use a humbucker. I think a lot of people think, oh, it's a humbucker, so it sounds like a Les Paul. It sounds like a Strat on steroids is the best way I could put it. But so again, fantastic guitar. It does have locking tuners to help with the trim. And like I say, if I use that trim, stays in tune great. Bill did a great job. Does have 4 springs in it, so that helps out. And the tuners do a great job. So this is a traditional Strat with humbuckers instead. And again, the other thing I like about this, your tone control. This is actually a Rothstein mid-boost mid-cut. I almost forgot to show you this. So if I'm playing here on the bridge pickup, that sounds a little too trebly. I can turn this thing. Adds more mids. More cuts. And the center detent. That's where I usually leave it, but sometimes you show up and it's just a little too bright and you don't have to fiddle with your amp too much. You can just roll that knob. It does the job great. And this one was built in 2007, I believe it was. So we've got a Strat now mixed into it. As I told you all earlier, I like a variety of guitars. So I'm a Les Paul guy. And Bill had this one, and I'd been thinking about one for a while because I didn't have a gold top at the time. Nice dark back on it too. And this one has a 50s style neck, nice and big, and it's got a set of Lindy Fralin hum canceling P90s in it. So the P90s, and now we're getting into a different realm. We've talked about humbuckers, we've talked about single coils. This guitar has an absolutely beautiful piece of mahogany here, and for the neck too. Obviously going for that vintage Gibson aesthetic, and I really love this bridge. You can actually adjust the intonation on the bridge, and it's a wraparound style. So Les Paul style knobs, you know, like all that. But let's give it a sound check here and let you hear what these P90s sound like. So it's like a Les Paul special in a lot of ways. The middle sounds great. And then the neck sounds nice and kind of a nice. It's got a presence from the top end on the P90s. They're a little bit brighter than a lot of humbuckers would be. Very responsive. But it's so quiet. So again, when you're looking at P90s, these Fralin hum canceling ones are a great choice. And again, it's a bolt-on neck, so it's like the best of like the T-style, S-style world in that respect, but it's got a little bit more girth to it in terms of the thickness of the body and the thickness of the neck, I should say, and then the feel of the body. So it's got a nice Les Paul feel to it as well. And another thing that I haven't really talked about much, the Buckocaster, this guitar, the red guitar, they have these nice vintage style Kluson tuners. That's what pretty much all of these guitars have on them, except for the Strat, which is more of a locking tuner. But at the same time, you know, they work great. They keep the guitar in tune, and again, great instruments. One more for you here. So this is the most unique one, and I don't know. I think I did shoot a video of this, but it was a very poor one. This is a very unique guitar, and I told you I was going to show you the bender earlier. I'm going to show you on this guitar. This, to my knowledge, is the only Jazzmaster with a G bender, at least of this style, that exists. I'm sure somebody out there has done something to one and got something going, but this right here, this is a guitar that I've been looking at a couple of different things, and one of Bill's customers had the same color scheme, only it was white with a blue stripe. I wanted to go blue with a white stripe, go UK, go Cats, as a Kentucky boy. And the other idea I lifted from that guitar was the fact that it had the Seymour Duncan P-rail pickups. It's a P90 with a single coil rail that can be put together as a humbucker. So I've got that in the bridge and the neck, and this one did originally have the Rothstein mid-boost mid-cut. I messed around with it and I took that out at one point. But this guitar, you know, your little phase switches up here actually are choosing between the P90 sound, the single coil sound, or the humbucker sound right here, and then you've got your typical three-way switch. So I'm going to let you hear the bridge pickup, and we're going to start off in the P90 position. So that's all the way back on this switch right here. Bender there, and this is all these guitars that have benders, this one along with my old #1 here, the Buckocaster, they have McVeigh G benders, and Charlie McVeigh makes those. Fantastic instruments, and I know this one was on his site at one point showing the Jazzmaster with it, but this one, you know, again, the same 60s slim type of neck that you'd see on a Les Paul is what I was going for, and that's what Bill kind of went with on a lot of these that I had built. The fretwork is immaculate, and the rosewood board I think just sounds great on these guitars. The necks are nice and smooth. I'll let you hear the middle position. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's go through the other sounds on the bridge. This is the humbucker sound, and this is where I usually leave this guitar. So that bender, you can do a lot with it. You know, it's not just country guy stuff. You can do your country pedal steel bends, but you can also, I mean, Jimmy Page used a G bender. You know, they're great tools to have on a guitar. You can even bend your harmonics. It's a lot of fun, and you can just get creative with it. You know, hold a bend. You know. So very creative type of thing. And then you got the single coil sound. This is nice and bright and twangy. The middle position, it's going to be, you have so many different sounds you can get because you can do any combination of these pickups between the single coil humbucker and P90 sound. I'm just going to let you hear it with the humbuckers first. So here's humbuckers. sounds too beefy for me, maybe I go to the single coil on the neck. Or maybe I decide I want a P90. So there's a lot of variety. You can do the same thing. And then you get to the neck, and with the neck, you got the single coil, which sounds like a great Strat pickup. You could go to the humbucker sound. P90. It's got a glassier tone with that P90, which I like. So, what do we have here? We have a variety of guitars that have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. That's the beauty of custom-built instruments. All of these guitars kind of came, well, along at different times in my life where I had different needs, and I could call Bill and he could build me whatever it was that I needed. I will say the white guitar, the gold top Les Paul, and the red Tele that I played earlier, those are all guitars that I got secondhand, or not secondhand, but I didn't custom order them. This Jazzmaster, old red here, the Buckocaster, and the Strat were all guitars that I custom built and worked with Bill meticulously to make sure that it had every feature that I wanted on the guitar. And Bill is an encyclopedia of guitar knowledge. He's great. A lot of you probably just know him from Brad Paisley and seeing his stuff there. He built one for John Mayer. He's built stuff for John Fogerty. He's got some great clientele. The guys in America played stuff that he had worked on. Bill is truly a fantastic guitar builder, and I can't say enough great things about the work he's done for me over the years. So I encourage you to reach out to him, crookcustomguitars.com. You can find Crook Custom Guitars on Facebook. By all means, reach out to Bill. He can help you build the guitar of your dreams. Maybe you have a custom builder that you've used before, and certainly I'm not going to put anyone down. I've played from a lot of different custom builders, and nobody touches Bill from my experience. But the beautiful thing is, I have 4 Telecasters I just pulled out for you, and of those 4 Telecasters, they all sound very different. 3 of those 4 have single coil pickup configurations, but they each have a different feel to the neck, which plays a huge role. They each have different pickups, different bridge configurations, different switching. All of those things play a huge role in the way a guitar sounds. When we go to the humbucker guitars, I've got a Tele. It's going to sound different than a Strat with humbuckers. A Strat just sounds like you're putting it on steroids. A Tele can kind of get you some great Les Paul type tones when you get the humbucker in it. The Les Paul style guitar that I have over the gold top, it's not like your 59 burst type of sound. It's more like a Les Paul special or a Les Paul Junior sound that you're going to get out of that with the P90s, and they sound fantastic in it. And then this Jazzmaster is kind of like, I can get Jazzmaster type tones, no trim on it, but I got a bender, which is extremely unique, and that's something you only get from custom builders, is Fender's not going to put out something like that, okay? And just to be really honest with you, I've owned a lot of Fender Strats and Teles and stuff over the years, Jazzmasters. There is no comparison. And I've played custom shop stuff from Fender. There's still no comparison to what Bill Crook does. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've played a lot of that stuff over the years, and having someone who knows the customer and specifically wants it to meet what the customer wants. I'm not saying Fender doesn't try to do that, but they're big guys, right? It's a lot harder for you to do that and be more one-on-one with your customers, and that's one of the beauties of Bill Crook and his work. Based out of West Virginia, and he has made some fantastic guitars for me that I love playing. Gotten a lot of compliments on them from producers and studios. I've gotten compliments on them from fellow players. I've gotten compliments, from front of house guys, how much they like the way these guitars sound in the mix. So they really are a truly phenomenal professional grade instrument. And man, the variety, we've got, the reds and the blues. I can get patriotic for you here. I've got the white one over there. I can go with metal flake. I can go with paisley finishes. I can go with a more traditional finish like in the white guitar or the gold top. All of these things, are things that can be tweaked and customized when you build a custom guitar. So I wanted to take some of my custom guitars out and show them to you, show you what you can do, what the options are that are out there for just a few of them, because Bill's built a whole lot more than that. If you go to his website, he's got hybrids that he's built between, all types of guitars. But the beauty of it is I have guitars that I know if I need a tool for the job, I've got guitars that can do it. This one was a great studio guitar because of the versatility with the pickups, and I used that on a few sessions that I did. It's also a great guitar because if I'm playing live, you don't have to switch guitars every other song or something. Nowadays, I don't have to do that as much as I used to, but man, I tell you, that was a beautiful thing in the past. So crookcustomguitars.com, go check them out. Bill Crook builds the best guitars in the business. I'm just telling you, in terms of the craftsmanship, the quality, and a guy who will stand by his product. I can't say enough great things about him. Glad to call him a friend. And like I say, appreciate you coming here to the Guitar Log. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Tell us what you like in there. What was your favorite guitar from this video? What was a feature on one of these guitars that you'd like to see on a future guitar that you own? And let's keep the conversation going, okay? So thanks so much for tuning in today, and join us next time here on the Guitar Log.